Hi, my name is Hunter Vidala, and this is my sales final project. First, I'm going to talk about the companies and the sales managers that I interviewed. The first company that I interviewed was Goodwill, and the sales manager's name is Joe Jandarin. Some background on Goodwill is it was founded in 1902, and it is a nonprofit organization created to help families in the community, whether with it being shopping or with job opportunities. Goodwill offers a wide variety of different activities to do. The second company that I interviewed was Cold Coast Pedicab, and the sales manager's name is Easton Vidala. Cold Coast Pedicab is a new business located in Marquette, Michigan. It is a unique way for tourists and locals to see the town of Marquette. If you've ever been to a big city like Chicago or New Orleans, you've probably seen this type of bike before, or even ridden on one. It is where the biker sits in front, and then the passengers are located behind in a little seat cab, and it is used as a taxi service. In big cities, they'll use it as taxi services just to avoid the traffic of the big city, but this pedicab is used for leisure rather than to rush places, but can be used as taxi, but is more as a tour. The third company that I interviewed was Forenza Pizza. The sales manager's name is Brian McDonald. Forenza Pizza is a different kind of unique way to eat your pizza. It is kind of the Subway to a pizza place. You walk in the door and you get to choose your crust, and then you get to choose your pizza sauce or your pesto sauce, whatever you want to put on it, and then you get to add your toppings and your cheese. And so they'll cook it or they'll put it together right in front of you, and then they'll cook it and bring it right to your seat. Forenza currently has 8 locations located in the United States, and the Forenza Pizza that I interviewed is located in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. It is about 5 miles out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. So the survey questions that I asked each individual. Survey question number 1 is, what are your responsibilities as a sales manager? Survey question number 2 is, how do you go about hiring your salespeople? Survey question number 3 says, how do you go about training your salespeople? Survey question number 4 states, what strategies do you focus on while selling? Survey question number 5 states, what attributes are most important to lead a sales force? Survey question number 6 states, how would you explain the motivation in your employees' eyes, and what is the reward in your employees' eyes? Survey question number 7 states, how do you go about evaluating your employees? Survey question number 8 says, what are your biggest challenges as a sales manager? Survey question number 9 states, what are your biggest rewards as a sales manager? Survey question number 10 says, what do you like best about your job? And then the last question states, what do you like least about your job? So I'll go through Goodwill and their findings first. Joe's answer to number 1 states his responsibilities are both opening and closing the store. He has to make sure everyone is doing their job right. He has to count the money and also assign jobs to people, make the schedule, and make sure that the company is doing well and making profit. The answer for number 2, he states that they can't be drug dealers. He tries to find out who they are as a person and a worker, so he stated that he will ask a difficult question during the interview process. The one he gave an example for is, if an angry customer comes in and is yelling at everyone in the store, what would you do and how would you handle it? The answer to number 3 is said he personally trains the sales team. He stated that he has to repeat himself several times in order for people to understand him. He doesn't care if that he's repeating it over and over again. He will do whatever it takes in order for the employees to understand what they're doing. His answer to number 4, he said, Goodwill is all about giving back and helping others, and so staying kind through the whole selling process and staying helpful for every person that walks through the door. His answer to number 5, he said that attributes he finds most important to lead a sales team is you have to find the difference between a leader and a boss, and once you find that, that middle area, then you can connect with people on a great level, and you can make relationships and be open for customers or employees to come and talk to you. His answer number 6 is his employees enjoy being told they do well. So the motivation in his eyes for his employees would be to look good in the boss's eyes. And he stated that the reward for his employees are to be told that they're doing well, and that maybe a higher reward would be a possible raise if they are doing well. His answer to number 7, he states he evaluates his employees by seeing how well they are doing or if there needs to be anything that needs to be switched. So he said he evaluates by watching them on a day-to-day basis or having individual meetings with them and telling them what they're doing well and both what they are doing wrong, and kind of working on how they can fix the wrong to make it a little bit better, but just evaluating in the process of watching them and communicating with them on what they need to fix. For question number 8, he states his biggest challenges as a sales manager is that everything is put on him. He states that he is overwhelmed sometimes with all the responsibilities, and if things are not met, and if employees are not doing their job, then it falls back on him. His answer to number 9 is that his biggest reward as a sales manager would be the good benefits, the pay, and every day getting to react with people and seeing new people, and he said being a boss is fun. His answer for number 10 is he likes being in charge, but not in the obsessive power type of way. So he likes making the decisions and the responsibility of having an entire store. His answer to number 11, he stated the working part, but he was just kidding. He said he doesn't like having to tell people that they aren't doing their job well. He doesn't like making people upset. And lastly, he does not like firing people. The findings for the second company, Cold Coast Pedicab. His answer for number 1 is his daily responsibilities would be checking social media pages and talking with his employees on the plan of attack for each day. His answer for number 2 is that hiring salespeople was pretty hard for him. He said that since it is his own business and that he is the manager, his money came out of pocket, and so he had to find somebody that he could trust and that he knew was going to do a great job for him and his company. So he was putting a lot of responsibility in the employee's hands, so he needed to find somebody that he could trust with everything. His answer for number 3 was training his sales team was pretty easy because with the interview process, he found people that are nice and don't need to be taught how to treat people well. Also the training part of his business is the how to ride the bike, and that if his employees kind of learn to ride with the bike, kind of goes each day, and that you learn as you go. His answer for number 4, he said the strategies he's focused on while selling is to always be presentable and smiling, since his service is needed for people and that people need to come and approach him. He said he needs to be approachable and smiling and friendly in order for people to want to come and talk to him. His answer for number 5 is he would have to say friendliness, kindness, and being genuine. With his business, you really have to be a people person, and so why not keep that same mindset while you're in Salesforce? He said give happiness, get happiness, and that can go a long way while you're working with your employees. The answer for number 6 is he would say the motivation of his employees are to bring joy to the consumer. The business that is offered is great experience and motivation for his employees to want to do well for the community. He said the reward for his employees is to see the smiling faces of the customers after they get done with the ride and giving the unique experience to many new people. His answer for number 7 states he evaluates his employees through observing how well they are doing with either the bike or the customers they interact with. And he also stated that Facebook helps because you're allowed to leave comments or rate the business as a whole. So he gets to kind of evaluate his employees through that as well, and seeing what customers leave comments about. His answer for number 8, my bad. He states his biggest challenges as being a sales manager is that having all the responsibility in your hands. His answer for number 9, he stated his biggest rewards as a sales manager would have to be knowing that he created a business that is unique, and he gets to see all the excitement and the enjoyment of people that get to experience his business. So that's a great reward in his mind. The answer for number 10 is that he likes his work and that he gets to share the business with the people around him. And the answer for number 11 is he never has a day off, and that is unfortunate for him, but that is also part of the reward. And the working part of it is that you don't get a day off, but having your own business is the reward as a whole, and you have to deal with the dislikes to get the likes. And lastly, the findings for Friends of Pizza. Brian's answer for number 1 is each day he looks at the stock and he orders what he needs to order. He starts up the oven and he cleans up the store before he opens it up to the customers. His answer for number 2 is he goes through the normal interview process, so sending out applications, calling them back, and doing interviewing. He also said one day he had an open interview, so the door was open all day for future employees to come in and hand their resume and then sit down and do an interview. So they kind of skipped the application process on that and just allowed people to come in. His answer for number 3, he stated, training the sales team is pretty complex. He used the guide from the corporation that is given when they first open the franchise. So corporate will give them a step-by-step guideline on how to train your sales team. And a funny story about that is that corporate says if the customer asks, or if you're talking to the customer, you don't ask them for if they want extra cheese on their pizza, because that is more talking to order. So that is the one rule that corporate gives, is never ask if they want extra cheese. And so that's part of their training process. The answer for number 4, he says, while selling, he focuses on being nice to the customer and giving them the different and unique experience while eating their pizza. His answer to number 5, he said, while leading his sales team, he focuses on being kind and helpful. He said he wants to make them feel comfortable, and the more comfortable the customer is, or the employee is with him, the more open they are to speaking about problems or concerns that they have. The answer to number 6, he says the motivation in his employees' eyes would be to do their job to their best of ability. He said the reward in his employees' eyes would be the chance for growth in the company, so either moving up to a manager or a sales manager like Brian. His answer to number 7, he said being at work every day, it is easy to look at his employees and evaluate them. Like Easton in Cold Coast Pedicab, they also have a Facebook page, so customers can leave comments and evaluate and ratings. So he'll look through those, but he'll also watch them day to day and kind of help them if they need to react with a customer differently, or if they are doing something wrong, then he'll just evaluate them and sit down and talk to them and speak about what they need to fix. His answer to number 8, he said the biggest challenges as a sales manager would be getting his business out to the community. With such a new business and being in kind of a big area, getting his community have knowledge about the new business is his biggest challenge right now, and he's focusing on marketing and how he can express how cool and great the experience of that pizza place is, because there are many competitors where he is, so he has to beat his competitors and gain those customers. So that's his biggest challenge right now. His answer to number 9 is his biggest rewards would have to be knowing that he's helping people with being a sales manager, whether it be his customers or his employees. He's helping them every day. His employees, he's helping to grow and move up in the company, or just grow as a person, and teaching them how to interact with people and many things for the future. He's helping them, even if they don't know it. He knows that he's growing them and helping them for the future. And he said it is rewarding to see other people happy. So when a little kid comes into the store and they get to choose what toppings they get, is rewarding to see the excitement and the joy in the kid's eyes, and also every customer that walks in. The answer for number 10 is he likes the structure of his job and the responsibility he gets to hold. He said he likes being in control of the entire business. And his answer for number 11, he states that the hours can get long as a sales manager, but that is the only thing that he doesn't like. So looking back at all the presentations and all the interviews that were done, I found many things that relate back to the course in sales management as a whole and what we learned. The first thing that I noticed was the selling skills. So for Goodwill, you have to be kind and friendly to the customers, and Cold Coast Pedicab, you have to be approachable and communicate well and be kind as well. And then for Friends of Pizza, you have to be able to communicate with customers and communicate with employees to maintain those skills. So I related that back to the course. And then also the selling strategies. I saw more in the interviews. I noticed more about social media that were talked about in the course, whether it being social media through ratings or through evaluation, but still social media as a whole. But I also saw the selling strategies of being kind and honest with your customers while you're selling. You have to do, honestly, the customer is how you have business, so you have to do what the customer is asking and what the customer wants and needs. So seeing that in the interview processing while relating it back to the course was very noticeable. Also, what was noticeable and related back to the course from the interviews was hiring salespeople. I saw that either they had the interview process, or for Cold Coast Pedicab, he reached out to people that maybe were interested in the job. And for Friends of Pizza, they used social media sites including LinkedIn and also Indeed. Those were job applications given out to the community where they can just log on and sign their resume, and then they can get called back. So the hiring the salespeople were related to the course through the interview processing and through the application processing and getting called back and having to go through the interviews. Also, I related back the training of the sales force. Although each training seemed different between the companies that I interviewed, it still related back to the book of the whole training as a whole. Each company did a certain different type of training, and as stated in the book about training and evaluating your sales team to do what is needed that the company wants. Goodwill, they trained through repetition, and Cold Coast Pedicab trained through experience in getting to know the bike and how to work it, and then Friends of Pizza trained through a set guideline. So each one were different, but related back as a whole to the course as training process for everything. What I also thought was cool was the leadership, how Goodwill spoke about you have to find the difference between being a leader and a boss when you're working with your sales team, and I thought that was really cool because we talked about that for a whole week, the difference between being a boss and a leader, and he stated that you got to find that middle ground in order to be comfortable with your employees and like show your employees that you're there to help them, but you're also there to get a job done. So I thought that was cool how that related right back to the book. And lastly, the sales team motivation. We talked about that in the book, and then I also saw that many times in the interviews about the different kind of motivation in the interviews. So, like Goodwill, the motivation was to provide a service to the community or helping people get jobs and opportunities for the different people in the community. Cold Coast Pedicab, the motivation was to give a unique experience to different people coming into the town and a different unique experience for the people using his programs, his product. So that was his motivation, was to give a great experience. And then that also ties into Frenza, that the sales motivation is to give the customer a great product. So those all related back to the course. And then I would just like to end by saying thank you for giving this assignment, and then I'd also like to thank the people I interviewed for their time and their day their time out of their day in their busy schedules with being sales managers. Thank you.